Imagine this. One ordinary afternoon, 7 billion people decide to do the same thing at the same exact second. Not send a text, not eat a sandwich, not check their notifications. They all jump. It sounds ridiculous, right? Like a global flash mob no one asked for. But what would actually happen if every single human being on Earth bent their knees and leapt into the air at the same moment? Let's run this impossible experiment. First, the setup. Humanity gathers in one gigantic spot. To make the numbers easier, let's imagine everyone somehow teleports to the same giant field, shoulder to shoulder, ready to jump. That's over 7 billion bodies packed tighter than any music festival in history. The air would buzz with nervous laughter, billions of feet tapping against the ground, a countdown echoing across the world. 3, 2, 1. And suddenly the ground falls silent. For a fraction of a second, there is peace. Gravity loses its grip on humanity, just for the tiniest moment. Billions of bodies float upwards a few centimeters, a wave of motion rippling across this impossible sea of people. The Earth itself, our massive planet, feels the difference. You see, when you push off the ground pushes back. That's Newton's third law. 7 billion jumps at once would shove Earth ever so slightly in the opposite direction. But here's the catch. The planet is so unimaginably heavy, 6 trillion kilograms, that all those jumps combined would nudge it less than the width of an atom. So no, we're not sending Earth flying into space. But then, half a second later, the landing happens. And that's when things get interesting. Billions of shoes slam into the ground at the same instant. That's an energy spike bigger than the largest bomb ever detonated. It's like setting off a chain of coordinated earthquakes across the entire planet. Dust would leap into the air, the ground would rumble, and if our crowd was standing on fragile land, cracks might spiderweb outward. For a moment, the earth would groan beneath the synchronized stomp of humanity. Now imagine the sound, 7 billion impacts all colliding with the crust at once. It wouldn't just be loud, it would be otherworldly, like thunder multiplied a million times. Windows would rattle, buildings would tremble, and anyone nearby would feel the vibration deep in their chest. Seismographs around the world would spike, recording the strangest earthquake in history, not caused by tectonic plates, but by people. Would we destroy the planet? Not even close. The energy of the landing, while enormous compared to anything humans have ever coordinated, is still tiny compared to the forces Earth deals with every day. Tectonic plates shift with magnitudes far beyond what our bodies can produce. Volcanoes erupt with more power than entire nations combined. In fact, the Earth is hit by meteors carrying more energy on a random Tuesday. So the planet survives just fine. But local areas? That's another story. If everyone happened to land on, say, a single city, it would be catastrophic. Buildings would collapse, infrastructure would buckle, and the ground might give way under the sudden stress. Civilization itself isn't built for a perfectly synchronized stomp. But let's zoom out. Beyond the physics, there's something stranger here. For once, the entire species agreed to do something together. Not in scattered protests, not in different languages, not separated by borders or beliefs, but in one perfect moment of unity. That image alone is almost impossible to imagine. Billions of bodies leaving the Earth for just a heartbeat. Billions of shadows rising together. Billions of people sharing the same breathless silence before returning to the ground. And when we land, maybe the Earth shrugs it off. Maybe the news channels scramble to explain the seismic anomaly. Maybe scientists shake their heads at the wasted opportunity. Or maybe, just maybe, people look around at each other and realize what just happened. For 1 second in all of human history, everyone was part of the same ridiculous experiment. Here's the twist. The real power isn't in the impact on the Earth. It's in the impact on us. Because if we can coordinate 7 billion people to jump, even for a joke, then what else could we coordinate for? Could we agree to stop fighting? Could we agree to heal the planet, to solve the problems we've been avoiding? The jump wouldn't shake the Earth apart, but it might shake us awake. So what if all humans jumped at the same time? Physics says the Earth wouldn't care, but humanity might finally realize how powerful we are. Not when we act alone, but when we move together.